Probably the most common method taught to draw architecture is to rough out the large shapes first and then to refine them to make sure the proportions are more accurate and so forth, and then to add the detail last. The problem is we're drawing freehand with pen. There is no pencil. And while we could still rough things out, we can't erase any marks we put on the paper. So this is a technique for when we want to draw directly in ink. Every mark will be there at the end. What is a way we can think, understand, approach what we're drawing? And we've got this very large cathedral in Sofia in Bulgaria as our subject. And it's a great subject to show this technique because it is quite complex. And even if we were to rough this out, there's a lot of roughing out to do, and then there's a lot of detail. And if we don't get the proportions exactly right, the detail won't fit in the spaces that we've roughed out and look right. So what's a way we can do this? I'm firstly using a fairly fine pen because I'm drawing this quite small. This sheet of paper is an A5 sheet. That's half A4 size or half a sheet of copy paper size, if that's more helpful. What I'm doing is I choose an area to start, and you can see where that area was, that side facing us in the center of this tower, which is relatively simple in terms of proportion. I wasn't worrying about the detail, but we had 2 columns on each side. We had a rectangular space in the middle with an arch on top. And so I seek to draw that as well as I can, and I seek to draw it in the right proportions. And when I draw from a photo, such as I'm doing here, it's certainly easier to draw it the same size as our reference, because that way we can simply make the adjustment on the transfer from photo to drawing more simply. We don't have to enlarge or reduce the size. We can just work on seeing the width, the height, the angle, and transfer that to our drawing. So having established that first section, that first rectangle plus arch, I do the sides on each side, and now I just extend out a little bit, and you can see what I'm doing here. I'm going across on this upper level off to the right, and what I really want to do is to get the total width correct. And it's covered up now, but you might have noticed I did a series of dots. I spaced where I thought those center columns between the arch windows would be, and I of course counted how many windows I needed to fit in, and then I worked it out that way. Now I'm keeping my drawing of the detail very loose. This is going to be loose mark work, loose line work, and that will cover, I don't know about a multitude of sins, but it will cover up a few marks that aren't in ideal positions. So as we go up and down, now that I've got some things already established, if I'm confident they're reasonably accurate, I can align the things I'm drawing now with what I've already drawn according to how it aligns in my photo. So there is an awful lot of observation back and forth, and in a moment I'll start to put some lines on the reference, and you can see, just like that, you can see what parts I'm aligning with what. So when I break into new territory, as I think of it as, that's something I'm going to be doing. It's hardest to do at the very start. We become not just more comfortable making line work and putting marks and creating effects, and I think that just showing it in our marks, and certainly in this drawing for me, my initial lines, that first part I draw, is probably, to my mind, the least satisfactory in the whole drawing. I become much more relaxed as I move across, which is good though, because that center section of the arches and the domes stacked on top of each other from this viewpoint is in many ways harder than what I began with. So it's interesting that I think I did a far better job of the more complex part because I was warmed up, I was a bit more relaxed. So a little bit of a straightforward part there. I'm not going to add any hatching or shading in this. I'm going to keep it nice and straightforward. There'll be enough ink on the paper just with with lines and marks and hatching to, well, and dark values to define the actual building. Now, besides the proportions, the width to height relationship of all the components, the other important thing is the angles. So where is eye level? Well, eye level is possibly at the bottom of those arch windows on the ground level, or where that line is between the, if you like, darker platform stonework and the white of the cathedral. But certainly once you start going above that, all the lines start to slope down towards the right ever increasingly. So that's important for us to bear in mind, particularly when we don't start at the bottom. But also bear in mind that even though we're drawing with ink, we can often make slight adjustments to the angles if they're not too far off. And just notice that the little dots and marks I make to help me visualize what I'm looking at. Now here, a little more complexity with these arches. We're not looking at them straight on. The left side and the right side aren't the same. And so these are things we need to really have noticed before we start to draw it. Even that center arch up the top of the, I presume it's the bell tower, we're not looking straight on. And so it doesn't sit square between the supports, the columns. So now, another helpful thing, if we're drawing actual size, is to put this tape around the same size as the reference, because that gives us another reference point. We can actually reference what we're drawing to the edge of the paper, because now we can see exactly where the edge of the photo, we can see exactly where the edge of the photo is on our drawing. But generally I started doing the tape because, not in this scene, but in scenes where a lot of hatching, particularly trees and whatnot, was going off the photo. It made it easier, of course, to get a nice clean edge. But it didn't take me long, particularly when I was drawing architecture, to realize the advantage it is. And so when we are learning to draw freehand in ink, and we're learning to really work harder at visualizing proportions and working to get them right and develop a way of drawing first go, it can be very helpful in helping us to assess what we're doing. And then we can take those skills and then start to develop them by drawing larger than the size we actually see. Sometimes though, I end up drawing slightly larger than the photo, and I remove the tape at the top or whichever side is running off, and there's nothing wrong with that. I would always say the important thing is to draw it in the correct proportion, and if that means a bit runs off the paper, let it. We learn that way that we need to assess things probably as a bit smaller than we're doing. But if we keep running off the paper, if we keep changing the proportions to fit on the paper, well, we never learn what we have to learn, so that we stop doing that. So I'm using a 0.1, as I said, and unusually for me, I use the same pen on the whole drawing. The only part I might have used perhaps at 0.05 were the very right-hand edges of the cathedral, where the architecture sits back from this front section and then curves away, and that's building that's on the extreme right, that's in shade. But again, notice that I really help position these windows with, position these windows with the hatching, or these, not windows, are they doors or, no, they are windows. Sometimes using negative space and actually drawing the windows by drawing the darkness is the best way to go with a subject such as this. Ironically, please hit that like button if you're finding this interesting, and please, if you can see the height button, then please hit that for me as well. That is actually a great help to me and to my channel. So actually, you can see me hesitating a bit here, even though this is 3 times actual drawing speed. So if you want to watch it slower and particularly see the positioning dots and dashes that I put on the paper, and exactly see what I'm aligning at each moment, you can use that cog icon in the settings and slow this video down to half speed, and that will be only slightly more than my drawing speed. So this is where, I mean, although it looks pretty bodgy at the moment, I think this section finished up looking quite well considering how it started. I was going to say before, yes, I did at the very end make a fundamental mistake, which I can't believe I made. I guess I was tired. This took me about 50 minutes to draw in actual drawing time, so I was a bit exhausted. I probably should have stopped and had a break, maybe. But I'll point it out when it happens. If you haven't seen it, recognize my error on the thumbnail yet, then that's a good sign at least. But I couldn't believe it when I realized I'd done it. But people seem to be encouraged when I make blunders, so let me encourage you. It is a very real part of everyone's drawing experience, particularly when we can't erase anything. So again, you see me positioning these arches, and I know that those marks I put aren't going to be visible at all. They'll just join the layering of different marks upon marks and the overdrawing of things at time that make up my drawing style. If you've never drawn directly freehand with ink, maybe this isn't the best subject to start with. But why not just start with a small part of it? Just do the tower. Or if you want, find a cottage and try that. Part of the reason I began drawing freehand in ink without any pencil underdrawing is I found I was becoming more and more of a perfectionist with the pencil. As my drawing got better, I became more demanding as to how correct it had to be. And ironically then, as I became better at drawing, I was erasing more and more. And it was becoming very frustrating and really starting to impact my enjoyment of the drawing experience. So I'm working out where does the top of this dome go in relation to what I've drawn and need to draw. And with these, again, we need to, these windows I'm doing around the drum of the dome, need to pay attention to how the shifting view of, the shifting angle of our view changes what we see as the windows move away from us to the left and away from us to the right. We can't draw what we haven't seen, and that's, I think, one of the really big reasons why our drawings disappoint us. We think it's lack of drawing skill. In fact, it's not that we can't draw what we see so often, but that we haven't seen what we need to see. And that means we're just guessing when we draw. So I brought those windows up a little bit too high, just made all of that section a little bit too large. That's okay. It's a forgiving subject. There's a lot of detail in architecture. It's all about careful observation and referencing and aligning. And this drawing technique works exactly the same drawing from life. Not that I've sat in front of this cathedral. I would love to have the chance to draw this in life, but that principle of starting with the most straightforward part that we can and then building outwards. One of the reasons I like starting with a part that's not the ground floor area is that often the ground floor level is very cluttered visually. There are things in front. Not in this case, there's not even a person in front. This is actually a photo that a friend took on their travels. But equally, even if there's not, such as here, I can only align in one direction, which is upwards. If I start with something that's more central, in this case it was to the left, but if it were more central, then I can do alignment left, right, up and down. So it gives me more chance to be more accurate in more directions by starting with something more central. So now I'm still using my 0.1, but I'm trying hard to get a really light effect, both by very light lines, very little pressure, quite a large angle on the pen to the paper, and drawing less detail. So here I am now. Haven't made that mistake yet. I'm about to make it, so get ready. Just working out now these windows. I really like this sort of, I guess it's a neo-Byzantine architectural style, is it? You know I'm serious when I start to get my finger over. I'm starting to get worried about losing track of things, and I did haven't done it yet, but I'm about to really annoy myself. Getting close, change the windows, change position, counting, yep, okay, that's it, I just did it. What on earth am I doing there? What I've done is I've put the infill into what should have been still part of the gap between the two windows. So in effect, I've drawn an extra window, and I realize that now when I go, what, I can't do the arch properly. And you can see me counting again, trying to, and I think, well, look, it's almost done. Nothing I can do. So let's just see how we go. You see, that's what I mean by alignment. Yep, I'm thinking at this point, oh, blimey, it's all, you know, I'm in the last minute, and that's what I do. Fortunately, there's a cross, which does help just draw the eye at least, and let me cover up a little bit, and then I do a really bad job of these ribs. But, of course, it's the overall drawing that people are looking at, and this is, because there's so much detail, that if our basic proportions and angles are correct, then that draws the attention, and it really does help to hide. You probably can't help but see that extra window now, but what do you think? If you'd like to have a go drawing this, I will post this photo on my channel post page. Why not even have a go just of a section? Just do the dome and the windows if you want. G'day, I'm Stephen Travers. Hope this was inspiring, helpful, and why not have a go? But in the end, if this is a bit too advanced for you right now, just be inspired and do something that you think you can have a chance of doing well. But whatever you draw, make sure you have fun. I'll see you next time. Bye.